Hi everybody, today I'm going to make some beef butter mayonnaise, also known as tallow, and some whipped tallow bites while I'm at it. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas that have helped me to lose over 130 pounds. If you're new here, please check out my website and all my YouTube videos. Those of you returning, welcome back. I hope you enjoy today's video. So I have something new to try today. I have been wanting to do this for a long time for my dairy challenged friends because most of the, the butter mayo and the hollandaise sauce and all those other things that we like to use to maybe dress up our eggs or our meat, a lot of it is dairy based. So Carnivore Crisps sent me what they call grass-fed beef butter. It is tallow, it is grass-fed, there are no hormones, and let me see if there was anything else. There's not even salt in it, it's just grass-fed beef tallow. So my thing that I'm going to try today is to make like a mayo using this instead of butter. So it would be, instead of butter, mayo. There's going to be some egg yolks in it, 3. And I'm going to add a little bit of lemon and a little bit of yellow mustard and some Redmond salt. You do not have to do that. You can just, whip it up and make it the way you want. You can flavor it with more things to make it, like a compound butter that you might put garlic in it or something. It's going to be great on steaks. Whatever is your way of eating, you can tweak this to make it as you please. So then when I'm done that, I'm also going to make the whipped tallow. Now I've made whipped tallow before, but it's tallow that I have rendered, and that requires, quite a bit of work. You have to first render the tallow. I don't know how easy it is for people. I get a lot of messages saying people have trouble finding the suet to render their tallow with, or finding some clean tallow without ordering it online. So, sometimes we have to order these things online. Now, I do normally render my own tallow, but the reason I haven't tried the tallow mayonnaise before is because I just never get around to it because I have to render my own tallow. So Carnivore Crisps made it very convenient for me to not have any more excuses. Today I'm trying it. It's super convenient to have it in a jar. So that will be after, the tallow bites will be after we do the mayo. So let's get going on the mayo. I'm going to crack my eggs, and also I need to soften this up. So I'm actually going to do that first. Now I'm going to kind of use the same proportions as my hollandaise sauce, which if you're okay with butter and you haven't tried that yet, it's super delicious, stays spreadable in the fridge. I'll link that down below. And I am going to measure out a ½ cup of the tallow. Now look at that nice white stuff. Mine usually has little bits of stuff in it. Now a ½ cup of tallow is 8 tablespoons. I'll actually weigh it on my scale so that you know what it is in ounces. So let me put this on here. I have to put it in here to melt it anyways. Okay, so that weighs 3 ounces, 3.1, and grams, it's 87 grams. I'm going to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. I don't want it super hot and liquidy, I just want it melted, semi-hot, I guess. So be right back. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to separate the eggs. So I do have the rendered tallow here, melted. I did not actually want it to go this long, but I got distracted by the eggs. So this was 1 minute, but it is all melted. Let me cut up my lemon here. We just need a teaspoon of lemon for flavoring, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off. Take out the seeds. Don't like seeds in my mayo. Just want to see how hot this is. Oh, it's barely warm. It's good. That will work. I'm going to plug in my mixer. You can use beaters. I'm using the whip. Or you can use an immersion blender. That all works. It's really handy if you have an immersion blender that fits into like a mason jar, and then you don't have to pour anything out into another jar. So I'm just going to whip up these yolks a bit. I got myself a rubber glove to put underneath this so it doesn't slide around so much. So I'm going to slowly pour this in, let it start to thicken up. It's looking really good. I'm going to put in some of my Redmonds here. I've had some people ask me what the stuff is in here that I keep putting in, because not everybody has heard of Redmonds, and Redmonds is good stuff. So I buy the big bag and then I just fill up my little jar every time it needs to be filled up. And I'm going to put a pinch of that in here, and I'm going to squeeze this lemon in here. You're looking for about a teaspoon. And about a teaspoon of mustard, or to your taste, you know, a little more, a little less, and any kind of mustard, or no mustard, it's up to you. If you like it, put it in. I like the flavor it gives. Just want to test the saltiness. It's actually tasting good. I may just add another pinch. Okay, this is actually looking very good. So I just want to tell people that I've had a couple of comments about homemade mayonnaise breaking, and usually what that means is you don't get this nice thick result. It gets it's like liquid still. The key really is to be very patient. Just slow, like don't add more liquid if what you've already been whipping up is not thick yet, because it's not going to get better that way. Wait until you've made it thick before you add slowly a little more drizzle of the whatever fat you're using, which in this case is the beef butter tallow. There's the lid for that. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. I have a jar. I'm going to put this in the jar, put it in the fridge because I'm curious to see what it tastes like after it's been chilling in the fridge for a bit. Right now it's spreadable, and that's always an issue with these homemade mayonnaise. Sometimes they get hard as a rock in the fridge. I'm hoping that this one, I used an extra egg yolk than I did with butter mayo, so I'm hoping that will be enough to keep it a little softer. And then I'm going to clean this up. We will come back and use some more of this to make some whipped tallow bites, which are really delicious and a great way to add in some fat if you're doing high fat carnivore or doing a fat fast day, or you just want something fun to bite into. So we'll be back in the next segment. Okay, I'm back, and I have measured out another half a cup of the Carnivore Crisp Beef Butter tallow, and I'm going to whip this into some delicious tallow bites. So it's quite simple. Now, I did do a previous video where I had again rendered suet. I did this with liquid tallow, and that took a while. So today I'm going to see how it works just from its semi-solid state here. So the tallow is stable at room temperature, just so you know. The mayo that we made needs to be kept in the fridge because now there's eggs in it. These tallow bites that we're about to make, they can be kept in the fridge or in the freezer. I like to keep mine in the freezer, and I've got a couple in there, but I'm almost out. So this is perfect timing because I can replenish my supply. And I like them in the freezer, but sometimes I'll take them out and just leave them in the fridge if I know I'm going to have some that day. So let's get started and whip this beef butter up. This is an optional ingredient, but I am going to add some vanilla to mine, and I'm going to, in a moment, once I get this whipping, I'm going to go grab some other drops that you could add if you wanted to. They have no sweetener in them. Okay, I'm just going to, I'm going to whip it. I'm going to put it on low just to sort of get it going, and then I'll turn it up, and we'll see how long it takes before it's whipped tallow. Okay, so I want to talk about some flavor options. I am going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm not going to use any sweetener. I'm also going to put in a pinch of Redmond's. And I'm going to leave it at that, but you certainly, if you're ketovore, you could certainly, use something else, maybe some stevia or something. There's also these that I have seen people use in their tallow. These are all unsweetened flavor drops. Now this one is Loran's Butter Rum. That might be nice. This one is natural pistachio flavor from Back Toe Flavors from New Jersey. So again, no sweetener, but it could be interesting. Capella lemon drops. And then these are triple O flavors, and they come in all kinds. Like this one is cinnamon roll. There's a sugar butter cookie, but no sweetener, no sugar. It's just they just call it that. Well, that's cornbread. Well, that's for something else. maple syrup. I mean, there's just so many different flavors of drops that do not have sugar. So, you know, entirely your choice. That's just a sampling. It can just make some varied tastes in the Tallow bites. So I am going to put in my vanilla, my pinch of salt, and I'm going to put it on high speed and see how long it takes to kind of whip it up. You will have to scrape the sides down a little bit every now and then. I can see that there's some tallow kind of hardening up where the whipper can't get to it. So I'm just shoving it down. What are you doing, teddy bear? No, it's just tallow bites, no bacon. Sorry. All right. Okay, I think, I don't know if it's going to get much bigger. So I am going to put it in this mold here, and then it's going to go into the freezer to harden up. And after that, we'll give it a taste test. I'm curious to see, in theory, we should get 8. I'm curious to see if this whipped up any extra volume. Next time, I will try maybe making it more liquid first and then whipping it up just to see. Sometimes you just have to experiment though. I will probably have to push these down into the mold a bit. I'm going to go on the assumption I'm going to get 8 and then divide accordingly. Okay, so these 8 Tallow bites are going to go into the freezer just to harden up, and when I come back we are going to taste test both these as well as the Tallow Mayo. We'll see how that turned out. We'll be back in the next segment. Okay, so these are ready. This took about 30 minutes in the freezer to harden up, and this mayo has been in the fridge for probably just over an hour. So I'm going to try them both. I just wanted to show you, these are my other little bites here that I made a week or so ago. These are 2 teaspoons each. This mold is a little bigger, and so those are about a tablespoon each. And I generally keep them in the freezer and just take them out when I'm ready to use them. So I'm going to pop one out, and I'm going to put it there to try it, and the rest I'm going to you know, put in my little baggie here and keep them in the freezer until I want to use them. So I will finish bagging them up later. I want to see, okay, well, this is very spreadable. You know, it's only been an hour, so, you know, maybe a little more than an hour. How does it taste? I'm going to try it on a carnivore crisp cracker here. I don't really have any other things to try it on, so let's see how this is. I'm kind of excited about this because it is a dairy-free mayo. And potentially you could, you know, really jazz it up for on top of a steak or even just the way it is. It tastes kind of like a lemony butter. It's good, actually. I really like it. I could definitely see myself putting this on steak. Excellent butter substitute. Adding that little bit of lemon and mustard makes the tallow taste like butter. And then it's got, because of the lemon and the mustard, there's that mayo edge on it too. I mean, you could play around with the amounts and the seasonings to get it the way you like it. So I'm going to finish that in a minute, but let's see this.
I don't know if you'd like this, Teddy.
So I like this. It's not sweet. It's got that little bit of salt in it with the vanilla. So it's like a non-sweet, fluffy little treat. I don't even know how to describe it, but I like it. If you're trying to not have sweeteners, I think this is a good little thing to have. You can put a couple on your plate to up your fat if that's what you're looking for. It's actually very good, but at the same time, the keto people, do what you want with it. You can make it into all sorts of flavors. So I'm actually quite happy with the way both of these things turned out, and I'm going to put my link down below for the Carnivore Crisp beef butter in case you are not able to, make your own tallow if you don't have a way to get suet or render suet and you want the convenience of a jar. My link will get you 10% off. That will be below. And I will also, for those of you that do want to make your own, I will put down the links where I have rendered my own tallow in the past. I mean, certainly, people can go whatever way suits their life best on this one. I kind of enjoyed the convenience of not having to render my own. So that was great, a great use of that for me. This, keep it in the fridge. I would say use it up within 10 days if possible. These can stay indefinitely in the freezer, and then just use them as you need them. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Take care.
While we're waiting for that, I'm going to separate the eggs. I did not separate the eggs.